Okay.
Okay, so one thing I want to start off with is, why does your opinion trump over any other people's opinion?
Right. So do you believe that there is a truth out there?
Everything is subjective, but there is a right or wrong morally, especially when you're in a cultured society that is based off a set of standards and norms that we act on and we act as.
So everything is subjective. So is it objectively true you and I are having a conversation right now?
Yes.
So that's not subjective then. So not everything is subjective.
So why do you believe morals?
Right? So something is objective.
Yes, but why do you believe your subjective
I'm
opinion
gonna get
trumps
there.
over other people's opinion?
Well, let me ask you another question. I'll tell you. I will
no,
answer.
please don't interrupt me. You can. Nope. Let me finish my sentence. I do not want to hear it. You think that your opinion is over other people's opinions. You think you were right subjectively.
Okay.
What is right or wrong?
Okay. Is murder wrong?
Yes, of course.
Well, then abortion should
Not
be
in
illegal.
every case.
Answer to question.
What constitutes a human? What is a human?
Deoxyribonucleic acid and conception.
But to me, a
forming
human
it.
would be someone with a consciousness who is alive in this world.
Well,
To
guess
you,
what? You're wrong. So
but
that's
no,
fine.
you're wrong because I think that's right and you think that's
Prove
right.
me. Prove it wrong.
What constitutes a human being? What is the
So
definition
if
of a
you take
human
DNA
being?
and
The creation of DNA that will never exist again, and a soul goes into that moment. I don't expect you guys.
What's a soul?
A soul?
What's a soul?
No, maybe not. What is a soul?
What is a soul?
The eternal, indistinguishable, let's just say, non-visible being of your existence.
I don't believe that. I don't
Well,
believe anything
I'm
is
sorry,
eternal.
I'm sorry you don't believe it.
And that does not make yours
Yeah,
true.
Hold on a second.
opinion isn't
Here's the
over
thing.
mine.
At some point, somebody's truth has to win. Because guess what? Your
In
truth doesn't matter.
But
That's
guess
still
what?
a truth
You've had
claim.
your truth in this country for the past thousands of decades. You're
Thousands of
not
decades.
thousands. Whatever. My bad. That's a little embarrassing. But
My bad.
your truth has been the narrative of this country forever.
Has
and
it?
you think
Roe
yes,
versus
the
Wade
white
just
straight
got
male truth-
repealed. Abortion was legal in this country for 40 years.
And before the 40 years, what was
And
it?
crime dropped
Thankfully illegal in
40%
most
after it
And
went.
on top of that, do you
Oh
not
wait, hold
think-
on. Do you think abortion lowers crime rates?
Crime dropped
100%.
40% after abortion became legal.
Why is that the case?
It's called a statistic.
Who has the most abortions in America?
Woman.
Black people. Is that
Black
so? Are you
women.
trying to say the termination of blacks in the womb lower crime? That's a very racist argument.
That is not a
Okay.
racist.
You know blacks have 45% of the
I would suggest using African American.
blacks. What? Okay.
Sir, that's a leading question.
Huh?
Sir, that's a leading question.
You guys can come up and talk if you want. Yeah, it's 95 degrees out here, man. So, yes, sir.
That's a racist. Okay.
No, you're the racist. You're the says that abortion lowers crime rates and blacks have the most abortions in the country. Yes.
I believe it's subjective.
It's not name calling. Wait, is it not Black Lives Matter or is it African American Lives Matter?
Both.
Oh, really? Okay, I thought it was BLM, so I say blacks. Okay.
He was just okay, not too much, Andrew. Do you believe that you have some sort of privilege that skews your view on other people's lives? Because personally, I don't believe you could step in my shoes as a black woman and relate and understand the things. So I feel like it's not fair for you to choose what I get to do with my life because I'm a black woman in a white society.
What does being black have to do with truth?
Because there are different things that we experience,
Like what?
and my truth might not be your truth.
What, did you get into college easier than I do?
What?
Affirmative action.
Yes, you get jobs and internships that white kids don't get.
Oh, we're
You have,
poor white people.
you have entire movements dedicated to your race.
We're so
Okay.
Sir, do you remember the
Those
novel?
movements are to get riots. You're crazy. Okay,
So,
so
do you not believe in racism?
Of course racism exists. The Democrat Party is still alive and well.
Do you think people are racist against white people?
All the time. All the time.
That's his definition.
Affirmative
of
action is
racism.
racism against white people. Yes.
Okay.
and Asians as well.
And Asians, that's right.
So I do have a question in that sense. If affirmative action is racism, why are most colleges predominantly white?
Why are they most predominantly white?
Why are most colleges, public colleges, are predominantly
Yeah,
white?
we
I'm
are.
not talking to you.
We're a majority white country. You realize that, right? So colleges are the depiction of the nation,
Okay.
and actually, blacks on campus are disproportionate more than their population in certain areas, in certain campuses, than their population because of affirmative action.
In HBCUs? Is that what you're
Certain
talking about?
campuses.
Are you talking about HBCUs?
So, but let me just ask a more broad philosophical question: why does skin color matter at all? Why should we care about it?
Because of the society we live in.
hold
Because
on.
of the
But
society.
no.
You're dismissing anything that has ever happened to someone of
Let me
color
ask
by
you a
saying
question.
that.
What can you do, or what can I do that you can't do?
Explain
What
how
law?
affirmative action works. Explain how
Affirmative action is lowering of test standards and quota for a
Wrong.
quota.
You're an idiot.
No, it's
I'm
not.
gonna tell you
It's
how
the way
it
it works.
I'm gonna tell you how it works. 'Cause I read
Yeah,
it.
it's the way it works.
Just let
I'm
him
not going
talk.
to entertain fallacies.
No,
Tell me,
you
why?
entertain me because I.
Just let him
Why-
talk. We have to hear your fallacies.
It's fine.
Why
It's
does
fine.
skin color matter?
Let him talk. Well, don't
I
call him an idiot.
believe skin color matters because of the society
He's not
we
being
are
respectful.
in.
Do you know how
And
this
I guess
shit
it
works?
goes
It's called
into critical
rights.
race theory.
Removing
Yes, it
rights
is.
Because of the
disrespectful.
society we have
I'll
lived
do it
in,
too.
race is a factor. If from the beginning of time race wasn't a factor, and there was never anybody who was oppressed because of their race, I feel like it would not play a part in anything that we do. But because literally less.
Oh, it's your Charlie.
They were interrupting you. I was.
Do you believe on black crime?
Do I believe in black on black crime?
Yeah.
It's abundant.
Explain, please.
Yeah, it's the number one cause of death in many black communities. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like,
He is right.
Okay.
So back to our previous argument that was interrupted. So in the sense of what, like I was saying, you don't believe like because of the history and because races have been oppressed, you don't believe like race plays a part in things, and you don't believe like.
no, that's not true. No. So, do you know who Thomas Sowell is? You know who Thomas Sowell is?
No.
I really encourage you to look. Thomas Sowell's great. He's one of the best black economists of the 20th century. Grew up in Harlem, and he's done the best research in the 1940s, 1950s, and 60s black community. And essentially, his argument is that black America was experiencing a renaissance in the 50s and 60s, despite discrimination. Yes. Now, the one part that I would agree with,
But however, it's not the black community as a whole; it's Harlem's black community.
there's Chicago too, but let's pretend you're right, okay? The one argument that I would agree with, and I'm against systemic racism arguments, the one that I would say, you know what, there was something very wrong, is when Democrat Lyndon Baines Johnson came in and destroyed the black nuclear family. If there was one part where I could say, you know what, that was unjust and that has to be undone, it's when Lyndon Baines Johnson went in through the Great Society program with the intent to destroy the black nuclear family.
Okay. So in that sense, do you believe the war on drugs also played a part? Or
Not
do you not
really.
believe in
No.
the war on drugs?
Well, look, I mean, I believe we should be very harsh on drugs, but I think I would give some merit to the argument of some government agencies peddling cocaine in the inner cities. There is evidence to show that. I'm not going to debate it. Do I think it has so for example, like there's one number that I'm fascinated with, right? Single motherhood in the black community was about 28% in 1945, okay? Now it's around 65 to 70%. Why? Are we more racist than we were in 1945?
No.
Okay, so then what happened?
The war on drugs.
Okay,
the
fair
war
enough.
on drugs. The demolishing the nuclear family in a sense.
Right,
And
we
I
agree.
believe due to the history that's happened, racism is still very prevalent in a lot of this a lot of the systems that are in America, correct?
Yeah. So no, of course not. But I was actually caught by your shirt. You know, Malcolm X was super pro-life.
Yes.
I think Malcolm X could teach a lot of the black movement something, because it more so than Martin Luther King, because Malcolm X, I'm getting there. Malcolm X, some people don't describe him correctly as being violent, right? That was a very small part of his literature. He was very big on trying to get black America to succeed despite the white liberal.
Yes.
And
not the white liberal.
He did say white liberal. Oh, you go look up the Malcolm X white liberal quote. And so I think that's interesting. Just think about it. Go look up Malcolm X warned against white liberals owning black America for their own gain, which is exactly what BLM is.
Okay, so back to my initial point. Back to my initial point. You don't believe that my truth can be different than yours, specifically based on race.
Experiences can be different, but there is always a truth. I'll give you an example. We all might have 5 different opinions of a car crash, right? But eventually a truth will be revealed of what really happened. Does that make sense?
So you believe that your truth is the truth that you have found yourself is the ultimate truth.
I would hope so. Yeah.
Super
And I'm willing to learn.
And then make America great again.
Otherwise,
He was,
I mean,
was like, oh,
and I think Malcolm X could teach us a lot right now. Yes.
What do you think about like the 1960s and 70s militarization of the police? The shift in the police?
Yeah, I mean, I'm generally very pro-police. What about the military? I mean, the
What?
question is what came first, and I honestly don't know the answer. Was it the rise in crime, or was it the police that went into the inner
If you knew what
community?
you were talking about, you would know the answer.
Yeah, it's not so clear.
Yeah,
Because
it
there
is.
was a massive crime wave in the early 1970s in New York, where a lot of New Yorkers demanded more police with heavier weaponry and the ability to enforce the law.
And post-militarization of the police, crime went up.
And then it went down in the 80s.
Correlate that
Violent crime
idea.
went down
Well,
big
let's talk
time.
about the 10 years that right after. What happened there? What do you think happened?
So
there?
you're drawing a correlation between police officers being militarized and more people committing crimes.
Over militarization of the police, yes. Is
Why?
Not exactly more people committing crimes, more people being arrested for crimes
Okay.
and put into jail over minor
Yeah, I mean,
crimes.
I can't disagree with that.
The prison system, I mean, we account for.
Yeah, I
accounts
mean,
for
why do
60
people go to prison, right? Because they commit crimes. So